Yes, people. Welcome back to another live stream on the channel. We are talking Jeremy Frimpong. Looks like it's going to be a done deal this weekend. Adam Wharton linked to Liverpool late last night. Not just Adam Wharton, but Christopher Nkunku as well. The Wirtz Saga looks like it's heating up with Manchester City potentially pulling out of the race. We're going to dive into all of that in today's show. Make sure you're smashing the likes, you're subscribing to the channel. It is very important you obviously do so. And obviously, it helps support the channel. Every like pushes it out to more and more people, and people might join the channel. Do you know what I mean? So make sure you do your work, and that is by liking the stream and subscribing to the channel. We've gained quite a lot of subscribers over the past couple of days, and we're on that road to 800. So make sure you're smashing that like button. And yeah, make sure it's important you obviously you do so. So make sure you are doing that for me. It is obviously very appreciated if you can do that. So yeah, how many likes we're already on? Already on a couple, which is good. So yeah, we're gonna dive into it. Yeah, Wirtz to Man City off. Is it off? Are Liverpool leading the race? But we are going to start off with Jeremy Frimpong. So Florian Plattenberg tweeted this morning, Bayer Leverkusen are aware of the negotiations between Liverpool and Jeremy Frimpong. Once LFC and Frimpong have concluded their negotiations, Liverpool will officially approach Leverkusen to activate the release clause of the 35 million euros, which is 40 million. At Bayer Leverkusen, they are expecting an agreement to be reached with Frimpong and Liverpool. So it's looking like the personal terms of the deal is good. And make sure, you give me your thoughts down below. I still don't know how to feel about the overall transfer. Now, what I mean is, I'm excited and I'm gassed about it at the same time. But I do have a few, obviously, concerns regarding the actual transfer itself. Now, for £35 million, you genuinely cannot go wrong. For 35 million, that can be paid in installments across a contract of 5 years, for example. Let's say he signs a 5-year deal at Liverpool. Forget how much he's going to be on for a minute. And we can basically pay that 7 million per year, which I think good business. And I was listening to someone late last night. Even if the transfer doesn't go to plan and it doesn't become a success, Liverpool can probably break their bank. They'll make their money back on a player like Jeremy Frimpong, 24, Dutch international. Many teams play with 3 at the backs, 5 at the backs, 4 at the backs, whatever. That Frimpong will suit their style of play. And obviously, if it doesn't go to plan, Liverpool can sell him in a year or two. So there's no... It's a bit like the Chiesa signing in some aspects, where it's a kind of a free hit. If it works wonders, it's absolutely brilliant business. If not, Liverpool can make their money back on him whenever they decide to, if there was to move him on. But I do think Frimpong will be a success because I think Arne Slot is going to take massive inspiration to how Liverpool play from the Paris Saint-Germain game. Because if you look at the players that we're invested in, like your Frimpongs, like your Kirkeses, they're very attacking fullbacks. And I feel like there's a lot of style of play there where Arne Slot can take that into consideration into his own tactics as well. From when we played Paris Saint-Germain, you look how badly we got bopped off the ball. We got dominated heavily in that first leg. The second leg, it was a lot more evenly matched. But I do think Liverpool are going down that route with the fullbacks. And the question is, I do wonder, I think Frimpong won't actually be the starting right back week in, week out. Because I think if that's the case, I worry for Konate's hamstrings. Because Frimpong is going to be bombing up and down that wing like there's no tomorrow, and Konate is going to have a lot of defensive duties to fulfill. And that's where I think in certain games, for let's say we're playing, a Paris Saint-Germain, for example, right? We're coming up against a real good attacking quality team. You probably go with Conor Bradley, who's better defensively than Frimpong and still has good attributes going forward. So therefore, Frimpong can be used against teams that sit off in the low block, wants to defend deep. He can bomb up and down that wing. He can help Salah out. He can unlock into that final third space. Because I think next season you're going to see a lot of trademarking in terms of where Frimpong's going to overlap Salah, and you're going to see Salah play that forward through ball pass into Frimpong. He's going to cut it across box, and whoever's there, who's over there. You saw it against Arsenal for a prime example. Go and watch back the Luis Diaz goal, where Salah plays that little pass in behind where he literally gets the ball, plays the pass, bang. Liverpool have played the overlapping pass. I think we're going to play very similar to that's how we're going to use a player like a Jeremy Frimpong, if I'm being honest. That's kind of what I expect and how I think Liverpool will do. I think Kirkers is obviously going to be the more defensive style fullback in some aspects, where he's not going to go as forward compared to a Jeremy Frimpong. And this is thoughts I've been thinking about late last night in terms of how is Arne Slot really going to adapt Frimpong into his style of play. So again, man, it's going to be really interesting. People, make sure you are smashing the like, subscribing. We've had 26 of you already joined the stream. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel as well. We're on the road to 800 subscribers. We are going to be speaking a little bit more on Frimpong. Fabrizio has confirmed the deal is close. And Adam Wharton contact was made late last night. There was big reports about that. We're going to be speaking about that. And also we're going to be speaking a bit about the Wirtz Saga. It looks like Manchester City potentially could be pulling out of the race. Maybe that's due to the fact that they know that Bayern Munich is going to land the player, or Liverpool are ahead in the deal. So let's get into the chat. Some people are saying, I don't know how to feel. I can't lie. I think it's going to be a very mixed transfer, but I genuinely think you genuinely can't go wrong with the pricing, with the deal, and how much he's going to cost. He's not going to be on loads of wages. For 35 million paid over across many installments, you genuinely can't go wrong. And I feel like if people are being negative about this sort of signing, like what are people expecting? Liverpool to go and sign Achraf Hakimi from Paris Saint-Germain? Like, is that what people think? You know, is that what people are really expecting? Hakimi's probably the best right back in the world right now. He's unattainable, unfortunately. He's not going to come. So you kind of have to go for that next somewhat best thing that is available in the market that can somewhat replace what Trent Alexander-Arnold can possess on a football pitch going forward. And I think that is going to be the case. And, you know, let's be honest, when Frimpong was playing for Bayer Leverkusen last season, you're telling me no team in the world has taken Jeremy Frimpong. We all watched how good he was going forward. We all watched how good Grimaldo was going forward. And for you stat people, this is Jeremy Frimpong's stats in recent seasons. And to be honest, that some of his numbers have actually been better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. So people talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold's numbers going forward and getting assists. Frimpong's very much close to that. And I feel like he's actually better in terms of goal scoring wise. Obviously, Trent Alexander-Arnold can score free kick, which is the majority of his goals have been. But in terms of an actual goal scoring wise as a fullback, Frimpong is better in my opinion. And obviously his stats are this season he's played 33 games, 5 goals and 5 assists. Last season in the league, and obviously the season when they went unbeaten for the Bundesliga title, he got 9 goals and 7 assists. And then obviously in the Champions League, he got 3 assists in 10 matches. And in the Europa League last season, which they got to the final in, he got 3 goals in 10 matches. So he does produce numbers. And this is something that Liverpool are going to be a fan of, obviously. We need someone that can have the running power, the pace and power that Frimpong will have going forward. There's no point trying to sign a defensive style more right back if they're going to be defending more, which means on that right hand side, it means Salah's going to have to do more running power. Salah is what? How old is Salah now? Salah is 32 years of age. He's coming up to 33. You know, he signed that 2-year contract extension. We want him fit and available for those next 2 years. You notice this season, how many times have we watched Salah and he's not actually really running? He just gets the ball, turns, passes it, and what happens? We go and score. I think that's kind of what's going to happen with Frimpong, but he's going to help him on that right-hand side where he can do the running, where sometimes Salah not be able to because we have to maybe reserve him for some parts of the game, or we have to reserve him for later on in the season, as you have seen. There's a reason why. I mean, you look at Salah when he takes his top off, the guy's in absolute mint condition. Like, we have to reserve him for the whole of the majority of the season, especially if we want to go far in the Champions League. We want to go and try and win the league title again. Frimpong is going to help that with the running power, with the overlapping. And you literally saw a little trademark of that in the Arsenal game, as I just mentioned, where Salah gets the ball, turns, bang, overlap. And you saw what Conor Bradley did. He overlapped Salah. And I think that's something that Slot has kind of picked up on, because we need to reserve Salah. And if we can use our fullbacks to our advantage to help him, and you saw what happened, we ended up scoring a goal from it. And I genuinely think Frimpong going forward is going to be able to do that. I think he's one of the best attacking wing back, full backs, right backs, right mids, whatever you want to call him, in world football. And I don't think many people can agree. I think the only players that are probably actually better than him, really in his position, is Hakimi, and he's not. We're not going to be able to get him. I'm pretty sure he's the PSG captain. They've just got to a Champions League final. He's going to cost you an arm and a leg for a full back, and especially we need other positions to fulfill in the left back. We need a centre back, and obviously we do need to sort out the attacking areas as well. But you're going to have to let me know you agree with that. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how Slot actually does implement Frimpong into a system, because Conor Bradley is a good fullback, and I think next season you're going to see a lot of chop and change between the fullbacks depending on whatever team we play. If we're playing a Real Madrid, you're probably going to want a Conor Bradley. You saw the performance he put in last season against Kylian Mbappe and Vinny Jr. You're probably going to want a bit more of an overall right back that is good at defending but still good going forward. But again, if we're playing that low block deep team, that's kind of hard to break down, and we need a lot of pace to be able to do that. We can use Jeremy Frimpong to his advantage and his attributes that he'll bring to the football club. So I do think it's going to be very interesting. But again, it's looking like the deal is going to be done. And obviously Fabrizio Romano did also confirm it on his Twitter. I'm going to pull it up for you now. And obviously he did tweet that Jeremy Frimpong and Liverpool is just a matter of a short time. And obviously it's getting more advanced. Deal is close now between Frimpong and Liverpool. It's actually kind of mad that we're going to have our potential first signing done before the end of the window. Ian Taylor, Wirtz to City off. Where's that come from? We are gonna be speaking about the Wirtz to Man City stuff, mate. It looks like Man City have potentially cooled their interest in Florian Wirtz, whether that's just due to the case of they know he's probably going to be going to Bayern Munich, or Liverpool are well ahead of potentially getting Florian Wirtz to Liverpool. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned into the show, mate. And yeah, you give me your thoughts on Frimpong down below. So I think next, Frimpong, it looks like it's going to be a done deal. Let's dive into the chat about Adam Wharton. Now, I did see stuff about Adam Wharton. I'm going to pull up for you. Just bear with. Now, I think you can say what you like about the source. Now, a couple of people have reported this late last night. I've seen a couple of people talk about Liverpool are monitoring the situation of Adam Wharton, and I've seen potential Liverpool are in contact with Adam Wharton. For me, I think out of all the players that we've been linked with so far this window, I think Adam Wharton would be up there, would automatically one of the signings of the window. If Liverpool was to pull off, I don't think we probably will, just due to the fact we are going to have to spend a lot of money in other areas. But imagine if we actually did sign Adam Wharton. It would, for me, it would be genuinely up there, one of the signings of the season, because what Adam Wharton would do for Liverpool is, so let's say we are playing, let's say Jeremy Frimpong is playing, for example, going back to the Frimpong chat. Adam Wharton can come in and sit and cover that acres of space, and I genuinely think his passing range as well is unbelievable. For a, I mean, how old is he? Adam Wharton is 21 years of age. He bursted onto the scene, what was it, like last season, when Glasnow obviously became the Crystal Palace manager, and he played, what was it, like 14, 15 games in the league or something like that. And many people were saying, I was one of them, I wanted Liverpool to go and snap this kid up, because, if you're good enough, you're good enough. And that's the motto I kind of go by. The thing is with him, he's going to cost you, again, an arm and a leg. Now, how much is a realistic price range for Adam Wharton? For me, you'd probably say 100 million. 100 million for Adam Wharton. Is that what people are probably thinking? I think 100 million, I think, personally, would probably is probably what Palace would actually probably want. 80 mil gets it done. No way Palace sell him 100 million easy. Again, they probably are going to want 100 million. But again, I go back to the point yesterday when I spoke about it in my video, my stream. Players like Adam Wharton are worth breaking the bank for. You're buying a player for the next 10 years. And that's going to be one of the best in the world in his position. Manchester City are going to be looking at him. Chelsea are going to be looking at him. You're going to be seeing clubs from abroad be looking at him. Bayern Munich in the future. Real Madrid looking at him in the future. I feel like there's been too many times where we've looked at players and they've gone to other clubs and we're like, damn, wish we got him, man. Should have got him. And Adam Wharton's going to be one of those players. I feel like while he's at Palace is his best chance to probably get the player. And this is probably going to be the summer that you're going to be able to get him for the cheapest. Because next summer he's going to be added another 20, 30 million. Don't forget, English tax becomes a lot with it. He's going to be going to the World Cup next year. If he goes and plays a massive integral part in England winning a World Cup, that's an extra 30, 40 million added onto his price tag. If Adam Wharton is available right now for 70 to 80 million quid, I'm sorry, but Liverpool have to just do what it takes. It's looking like we are going to be making a lot of money this summer from sales. Your Darwin Núñez, your Harvey Elliott's, your Kelleher's, your Simicas's, potentially another one or two of the forwards in Diaz, potentially if he was to go to Saudi Arabia. So there's money to be made in the transfer market for Liverpool to go and reinvest. You look how much, we're probably going to be spending this summer. I think Liverpool will spend about 150 to 200 million. I think they just have no choice but have to, because Kirkes is going to cost you 30. No, but I'll probably say 40, 45. Frimpong's costing you 30. You're already spending 70 million on 2 fullbacks, right? You then need, if the Wirtz links actually do start to progress, as it looks like it's going to, it looks like there is actually legs somewhat in the transfer, and Paul Joyce has people talk about big guys reporting news. Paul Joyce did end up coming out and saying yesterday that if he was open to a move to England, Liverpool would snap at the chance of possibly that. And Wirtz is going to cost you 120. That's 200 million gone on 3 players. You still need to get the striker in, and you still need to possibly maybe bring in a centre back, depending on what happens with the Konate situation, because that looks like, for me, it's heating up over on that camp. So it's like, what do we do, really? Do we go and try and get an Adam Wharton? But then you have to think, what will Liverpool's midfield be next season? Because if you have a collective of midfielders of, let's say, Curtis Jones, Adam Wharton, Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, then you got the Wirtz links. Now, I'm not saying Liverpool are going to get Wirtz and Wharton. Jesus, I'm not deluded, right? But if we are going to get one of those two of the caliber of players, who is actually getting dropped to the bench? Who is getting dropped to the bench? Let me know if Liverpool was to make one of these signings. Let me know who you think, but yes. But yeah, let me know down below what you think. Szoboszlai. I can't see us dropping Szoboszlai, if I'm being honest. I said this for the longest time. I think what Szoboszlai does on and off the ball, he's the guy that starts the press. I get Szoboszlai doesn't bring as big numbers as we probably would have thought, but he's actually been a massive part in the big games, that we've took points this season. This season he's on what? He's played 34 games, 5 goals and 6 assists. He's already improved on his numbers. He got 1 goal and 1 assist in the Champions League. I feel like his numbers are starting to somewhat improve. But then some people say, is it good enough, for the money that we paid for him? And he was meant to be that guy, for me, but we could change tactics to fit him in. I've seen a few people argue that you could go maybe 4-2-4, you could go 4-2-2. And this is the beauty of it, because we have a manager that can change tactics. We've seen many times over the duration of the season. I think in a big part of us winning the title is Slot's tactics. In the way he's able to change games from the touchline, the way he's able to change games from his substitutions, halftime team talks. He's not afraid to take players off, no matter who you are, if you're a big player in the team or not. Do you know what I mean? And you've seen that this season. I think the first primary example that came to my head was when we was away at Ipswich. Jarrell Kwanzaa was having an absolute mare. Slot was like, no, I don't care. I've got to make the change. I've got to do what's better for the team here. Brings on Konate. At halftime, we ended up seeing it through, win 2-0, keep the clean sheet. And the one game I love to go back to is the Fulham game. The way he was able to adapt to that game going 1-0 down at Anfield, going down to 10 men, losing Andy Robertson on that left-hand side. What he's done, he got Gravenberch, he slotted him into that back sort of centre-back role, kind of filling in as kind of like a back three type, and no one would have expected that. And to be honest, if it was another 5-10 minutes, Liverpool go on to win that game. They was on top towards the end of the game, but obviously we came out with a point. But I looked at that as the bigger picture. Like, this guy is really good tactically, and if we can actually give him the plays that we need, Liverpool can go to the next level with Arne Slot. I think people are really going to be excited next season, man, because if Slot can get his players in, I think Liverpool are going to then another level. I really do. Just using some of the points I've just named. Go 2 up top. Wirtz in the 9. Yeah. Jordan, big up yourself, mate. I'm new. I am a big fan on Liverpool fans. Yeah, mate. Big up yourself. Yeah, make sure. But as I was saying, give this manager what he wants. If he wants to go and sign an Adam Wharton, a Florian Wirtz, these are game-changing players. We spoke about many times. Alisson, game changer. Virgil van Dijk, game changer, took us to the next level. You know, these are players that are going to be world class in those positions. Get them ahead of the curve. This is Liverpool Football Club. I can understand if I was an Aston Villa fan, but we're the biggest club in England. If we're talking like trophies wise, and we're certainly up there with fan base. We already know that. You know, he's coming in his first season, no signings. I know people say Federico Chiesa, but like, let's be realistic. That wasn't an honest slot signing. Otherwise, he would be playing. My opinion, I think it was just a club signing. It was one of those ones where Liverpool have always been a fan of Federico Chiesa. If it works out, woohoo! You know, we're laughing to the bank. If it don't, you're probably making the 10 mil back. And to be honest, we got the sell-on clause money from the Solanke deal. So that basically kind of paid for Federico Chiesa. So back this manager, man. Back him. He deserves it. You know, not many managers come in the first season replacing an iconic figure in Jurgen Klopp, dealing with the contract situation that it is, and win the league title with pretty much ease. It's not like we've actually gone neck and neck with Arsenal. Like, let's be realistic here. When Liverpool played Man City in February, like, we all knew that at that point it was done, and hence why everyone was singing we're going to win the league versus Liverpool. Oh my God, it's happening. I mean, it's not happened just yet, mate, but Liverpool are interested in Wirtz. I mean, unless you've just seen something on Twitter, I mean, I'll have a look. I mean, 4 seconds ago, Ian Doyle, while the expectation is Wirtz will remain in Germany, either by staying at Leverkusen or making a switch to Bayern Munich, Arne Slot wants to make a significant player for 125 million German international. So basically, if Florian Wirtz, again, we're going to speak a bit about Wirtz. Look at the tweet by Gravenberch. It's confirmed. The tweet by Ryan Gravenberch. Let me have a look. What, Ryan Gravenberch's Twitter? Right, let's have a look. I mean, Ryan Gravenberch hasn't tweeted, mate. He's just been... They're just tweets throughout the season. His latest tweet was literally saying Premier League champions. So I have no idea. However, there is news from Fabrizio Romano. We are going to be pulling that up right now, if Twitter would like to load. What do you mean Twitter's not going to load? But I want to bring it up. It is now Jeremy Frimpong and Liverpool deal at the final stages now, as every deal of the personal terms has been almost agreed and as expected. No issues on release clause as Liverpool are in direct contact with Leverkusen since Monday over installments. Here we go. Soon from Fabrizio Romano, it's looking like we are going to get the here we go very soon. Smash them likes on the channel. Let me update the title actually. Here we go. Let's update that title. The here we go is very soon, ladies and gentlemen. Smash them likes on the channel, man. And Frimpong is going to be a Liverpool player in the coming days. I think this will probably be done by Saturday. I think this will probably be done by tomorrow, if I'm being truly honest with you. And yeah, it's looking like it's going to get done. You know, again, for that price range, over the installments, like I've been saying earlier in the stream, over the installments that Liverpool want to get this deal done with the structure of the payments that we can do. And we'll be speaking about Florian Wirtz and why I think that could potentially be done over in installments. But mate, you're going to have to let me know what you meant by that flipping news regarding Florian Wirtz by Ryan Gravenberg's Twitter. I don't know if he was trolling or he was actually being deadly serious. If it was the case, it was probably a fake Ryan Gravenberg account. I doubt Ryan Gravenberg is going to be tweeting about Florian Wirtz. If I'm being honest, but yeah, literally it is all over Twitter now that the here we go is at the final stages between Liverpool and Bayer Leverkusen. But it's going to be really, really interesting. We are going to come back to Frimpong later in the show. We've got 30 people inside. Smash up the like, subscribe to the channel. It helps push out the channel to more and more subscribers and more viewers. So yeah, let's go on. Let's talk about the big one. Everyone wants to talk about Florian Wirtz. Let me pull that up for you. Can you bear with? So right, here we go. So this is some of the Florian Wirtz news. Now, big up to Christian Falk, who actually broke the Liverpool news regarding Florian Wirtz in terms of like an official standpoint of view. So City and let's go to this tweet here. As it stands, Liverpool are further ahead than Manchester City in the poker for Wirtz. Then came back. City and Dani Olmo are also hot. So Pep Guardiola's club are prepared to leave the poker. Like, why is the word poker being used here? Poker against Bayern Munich and Liverpool for Florian Wirtz. So that is some of the news regarding now that Manchester City looks like potentially they could be leaving the race for the German international. And this for me is massive news. The reason because if Florian Wirtz is interested about leaving Germany and coming to England, it basically means that Liverpool are going to be leading the race. They are going to be the front runners to sign Wirtz from leaving a Germany standpoint of view, if you get what I mean. I still think he personally will go to Bayern Munich, but I've got a feeling that Bayern Munich don't want to pay the asking price. You know, Bayern Munich have got to fill in some other areas of hole. I think they need a couple of sitters. You know, Kimmich is getting older, Goretzka's getting older. It looks like the Polina deal just really hasn't worked out. You could argue they probably need to maybe bring in a couple of defenders as well. So Bayern Munich has got to do deals all over the pitch in some aspects. It's not just about bringing in Florian Wirtz for them, but it's looking like Manchester City potentially could be leading the race. And, you know, they've been linked with Florian Wirtz for a long time. And this is really interesting to me. Yeah, I want to know what he meant by that, if I'm being honest. But yeah, he still hasn't replied back in terms of what he meant. You probably just saw it on some fake fan account, mate, if I'm going to be honest. But let me know what you think, people. Can Wirtz to Liverpool happen? I believe it can, because we've seen many times Liverpool break the bank for transfers. How many times have we seen Liverpool break the bank for transfers? You know, people talk about, oh yeah, Liverpool have no pull, Liverpool have no money. We're the one club in England that actually have been up there with breaking the most transfer records in the Premier League. You look at recent times, for a defender, Virgil van Dijk, £75 million back in 2018. Alisson Becker, we broke the transfer record for a goalkeeper at the current time for £65 million. We broke our own transfer record in 2022 when we signed Darwin Núñez for €100 million. We was willing to break the transfer record, the British transfer record for a player in the Premier League in Moises Caicedo, upwards of £111 million. Say what you like, if it was all PR, it didn't go through, yeah. But Liverpool literally was willing to give Brighton and Albion the money. Fabrizio, David Ornstein, Paul Joyce, even James Pearce was reporting that Liverpool was willing to give Brighton the money for Caicedo. So I think it'd be a bit thingy for people to say, oh yeah, you can't afford Florian Wirtz. We was literally willing to give £111 million to Brighton for Caicedo. And I think Wirtz for me is more of a game-changing signing. He's a player that will take you to the next level. Name me a better player than Florian Wirtz in his attacking position. I mean, I know people will probably say maybe like a Cole Palmer, but no, Florian Wirtz is a level above, man. This is a guy that's just won the Bundesliga last season, unbeaten. You know, he's had a decent campaign again. He was very good at the Euros. For 22 years old, man. But yeah, Wirtz won't happen. But we will do some clever signings this summer. Mate, honestly, mate, I actually agree with you. I do agree with you. I don't think Liverpool will sign Florian Wirtz. I do still think he'll probably go to Bayern Munich. But there's 100% a chance that we can sign him. You know, from the reports, if Bayern journalists and people like that are reporting that Liverpool are heavily interested and now ahead of Manchester City in the race, and obviously the reports look like it was near enough confirmed that Liverpool did meet with Florian Wirtz's representatives in Blackpool, and apparently Arne Slot spoke to him on the phone. Obviously he's enjoying his life in Ibiza right now, Mr. Arne. But it's interesting, guys. It really is interesting. But I do agree with the last point of your comment that Liverpool will do clever business. I do think we will get Kirkers over the line. Frimpong looks like it's at here we go. We've just seen the tweet from Fabrizio Romano regarding that situation. Let me update this banner. No, not that one. Let me put it in the banner. Frimpong. Yeah, people, make sure you smash the likes. 41 of you inside. Will it happen? Will it happen? Can he become a Liverpool player? Man, I would love it so much, man. Oh, he's a game changer. He really is. And he's versatile. We've seen it with Arne Slot. He looks like he likes his versatile style of players. and you look at Florian Wirtz, he can drift on to the left and the right. He can play in that 10, where he's best at. He can drop deep, pick up the ball on the half turn, and go forward. I believe he can play in that false 9 area for Liverpool if was to go back down that route. So there's many positions for Florian Wirtz. So Liverpool have always liked those kind of players who are versatile, especially in the midfield. Like you look at Szoboszlai, he's very versatile himself. Same with Alexis McAllister. So I do think that's probably one of the reasons why we like him. And Liverpool must have heard something from somewhere, possibly that maybe Florian Wirtz is interested in potentially moving away from Germany. So obviously we're going to have to really truly wait and see. But this saga looks like it is heating it up. Where are you from, buddy? First time coming across your channel. I'm from the United Kingdom, mate. You'll have to let me know where you are from. But I do appreciate it for you coming in. You know, we've had a lot of people join the stream. Over 344 people have actually joined the stream so far in 41 minutes. 33 are inside right now. I do appreciate that. But let me know, mate, who you think Liverpool will be signing this summer. I just think, you know, one second. I've just seen something on Twitter. So yeah, and obviously, yeah, that is the news regarding it. Apparently, medical. Can we actually do a medical for Frimpong? No, you won't be able to do it until the 1st of June, won't he? However, I've just seen a tweet regarding Ibrahim Konate. The truth is that Liverpool's management is upset. The doubt arises because what could happen in the future. At Anfield, they're experiencing a very strange feeling following the Frenchman Konate's refusal to renew his contract. They're starting to detect ghosts from similar to those who felt just a year ago when Trent Alexander-Arnold began. I think that's a load of rubbish, in my opinion. I think that's a load of rubbish what I've just read, if I'm being honest. Regarding ghosts, yeah, break the bank, people. Break the bank. You know, if there's a sub and like for you, I am from the Midlands in Ireland. Big up to the Irish people, man. Yeah, big up to the Irish, man. I love the Irish. Got a few in my family myself, mate. Big up to the Irish, you know what I mean? Just be happy we won the league. Where do you think Wirtz will land? In my opinion, I think he's going to Bayern Munich, mate. But there is still every chance that he could be coming to Liverpool. You look at Christian Falk, you know, big guy over in Germany who reports news regarding Bayern Munich. If he's saying that Manchester City are at the race and Liverpool are now ahead of Manchester City, it's looking like it's between Liverpool and Bayern Munich. I think people saying straight up like there's no chance that we can sign him, I think is absolutely ludicrous. Like I said, I mentioned all the points about us breaking transfer records, about this being a game-changing signing. There is every chance. If you can't see what super duper FSG are cooking, you can jog down the Etihad. I can't lie. Look. Everyone knows I've done many videos regarding FSG, and my thoughts and feelings about them. All I've ever wanted from FSG is not to spend 300 million every summer or 200 million, is to fill in squad areas that needed. There's been too many times over the past couple of years when Liverpool have won trophies. If we go and make that one extra 2-second signing, it can take us to that next level to go and try and defend a league title. When Liverpool won the league, we all know we had a massive centre-back crisis injury. If Liverpool went out and brought a centre-back that summer, we go and win the title. We was in the title race until what? we was in the title race until like January. So if you're telling me if we don't sign a decent centre back, we don't go and win that league. Each to your own. Remember, we can't criticize FSG, or else we'll be told to jog on down the Etihad, bruv. Look, I'm actually giving FSG credit, if I'm being honest. I'm not saying I'm FSG in, but I'm actually giving FSG credit because I actually do think they are going to spend big this summer. I've just got this feeling like, how many times have we seen it with Jurgen Klopp come out and say, yeah, I'm so confident we're going to be doing business this summer. It's always been, if an opportunity comes around, we will tackle it. With Arne Slot, Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah, they have all said they're excited about the summer, they're excited for what the club is going to do in the summer, and they're excited about the future of the club. And that's one of the reasons why they signed that 2-year contract extension. We fell off that season because we sacked our good medical staff and brought in the rubbish medical staff from Arsenal, as well as the centre-back problem. I mean, look, there was a lot of issues that summer. But look, it's about the here and now. And I think people be excited about the summer. Have faith in the manager. Have faith in the squad. Because if Arne Slot is coming in his first season with no signings, up against the contract situation, up against everybody, saying he's going to get sacked, he's another Ten Hag, and wins the league title, there is no reason why we should be backing these players. There's no reason why we should be backing this manager. And if we can just give him those 2, 3, 4 players, that can take Liverpool to that next level. And I really do believe so. Arteta's light bulb keeps coming in the comments. Trust the process. I am trusting the process. I trust Arne Slot. I trust the team. If I'm being honest with you, 37 now inside. 23 likes. Let's see if we can push it to 25. We've got over 30 people in here. Let's try and push them up to 25 likes on the stream. And it's going to be really interesting to see what is going to happen this summer. Look, I feel like there's going to be a lot, bro. If I was free, I would jump on. Look, if anyone wants to jump on, I'll send them the StreamYard link. I'll put it in the chat, and you can come on and chat. But there's no reason why Liverpool fans to be excited this summer. I am more FSG spend money than FSG in, FSG out. I'm somewhat like you. For me, it's not necessarily about spending loads of money, like I just said. For me, if our manager does well, reward him. You see at many jobs, most people get a pay rise, maybe because they're doing well and they get rewarded. Somewhat of a similar analogy I'm trying to use there. Just in certain summers, I don't want to be felt like we're left that one space short and then we go and tackle it next summer. Then we're going to fill in that other position, then that position, then that position. And that's how you can fall behind. And with Arne Slot and his credit to his team and credit to the certain individuals in the squad and Jurgen Klopp, that's the reason why Liverpool have been up there over the past couple of years. But we do have to give FSG credit, guys, because they are the guys that did bring in Arne Slot. A lot of this fan base wanted Ruben Amorim. They wanted De Zerbi at Brighton at the current time. He's gone to Marseille. Everyone wanted Xabi Alonso. Now, we don't know how they would have worked out, but we know how it's worked out with Arne Slot. So, but this up-and-coming season is going to be the real test for him. I do think this up-and-coming season is going to be the big test for Arne, mainly because Manchester City are not going to have as bad as a season as they have been over the past 10 years. I think we're all in agreement that Manchester City are not going to have a season like they have last season. That was their worst season in 10 years, and they're still going to end up getting Champions League football. They're going to get a lot of money from the Club World Cup, and Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, man. Arsenal looking like they're going to sign a striker. They're bringing in Martins with a Mendy. And I also did see The Athletic have said that apparently Mikel Arteta has given the green light to try and sign Rodrigo. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But, Arsenal are showing the ambition. Wirtz deal should be done, but with FSG, I can't be hopeful. Wish they shame me. Yeah, I'm in the same camp. Yeah, I agree. It's just about trying to back on a slot, because this is going to be the real ultimate test now. Try and see if you can go further in the Champions League. You know, we had a very good start to the European campaign. We won the group. We only lost one game, and that was to, what was it, PSV, and we basically played the kids. You know, And obviously, we came up against a very good Paris Saint-Germain side and lost on penalties. My opinion, I think Liverpool would have gone to the final. And that's just due to the fact is, and I know people say, oh, but look how we've been performing over the past couple of months. The title race has been done. The title race has been done for months. I feel like in Europe, Liverpool are an absolute different animal. Let's not do this. And I feel like we would have got past Aston Villa. And, it would have been against... who would we have played? Arsenal. You're telling me we don't beat Arsenal over 2 legs? Just saying. I think we do Arsenal over 2 legs, and then a final is a final. It's a 50-50 game, you know. And obviously, we look tired in that game. That's why we need to bring in more bodies back. We'll go back to the point, guys. Back in on a slot, because if we can bring in more bodies to help, and we can go further in these competitions. The FA Cup, I believe, we actually just threw in the bin, if I'm being honest. I don't think we really give a fuck about the FA Cup. I mean, you literally saw the lineup that we played against Plymouth Argyle. That lineup should be beating Plymouth, to be fair. But I don't think we really gave a fuck, if I'm being honest, at the current time. At the time, we had bigger fish to fry. Slot said in a recent interview with Sky that Ward scouted him 4 years ago. So it was always Slot. Yeah, you have to give credit to Richard Hughes. You have to give credit to Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards because, a lot of people criticised them last summer for not trying to get the contract situation done soon and not trying to bring in transfers. But, they brought in Arne Slot, man, and, I think now they've had their time to assess the squad, the narrative was being built around. And I think now this is where you're going to see a big reset. I think it's going to be an explosive summer. I really do. There's going to be twists and turns from incomings, from outgoings. I think a lot of players are going to leave this summer. I really do. And I know a lot of people go back to the narrative of, you don't want to change your squad too much. But you look at the players that we're going to be letting go, we're going to be earning bank. Darwin Núñez, 17 million to Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much. 60 million. Thank you. I don't wish anything bad on you. Goodbye. Thanks for your time. Simicas looks like Leeds are going to be interested in him. If we can get 10 to 15 mil there, then Harvey Elliott, I think we can get 30 million. That's probably 110. You're probably saying around money there. Kelleher, I think for Kelleher, we can easily get 40 million. Like, come on. Kelleher starts for some of the teams, even in the top 6 right now. And I'm talking top 6 in the league, not like Tottenham, Chelsea, Man U. I'm talking top 6 in the league. Like, you're telling me he doesn't start over Sanchez, for Chelsea. Doesn't tell me he doesn't start over Nick Pope for Newcastle, or what, like 3rd in the table. So I think 40 million is a reasonable price tag. And then we'd have to see how the Diaz situation plays out. Are we going to sell him to Saudi Arabia? What's going to happen with Jota? There's Tyler Morton. That's another player that we can get an easily £10 million for. There's a lot of money to be made this summer. And I just hope we really capitalize on it, man, because we have a chance to make a lot of money and spend big in the positions that we need. You're telling me we signed Kirkus Frimpong, let's just say Etatike, and let's just say we go and get a Florian Wirtz or a Tyler Morton, because the reports are Liverpool do want to bring in that big signing, big marquee signing. You're telling me you won't be happy with that? You know what I mean? Some news here. Ryan Cherky wants to join Liverpool this summer. The Frenchman is hoping to complete a summer move to Liverpool. That's the guy I want. I mean, look, I would definitely take Ryan Cherky. You know, for £25 million, you genuinely can't go wrong. I wish Liverpool. I really wish Liverpool was interested in the Gyökeres deal for 60 million. You know, it's looking like Isak is not going to be attainable, right? Okay, cool. Go and get me the next big goal machine, Victor Gyökeres, for 60 million. You look at other strikers that have been linked. Your Sesko's for 70. Like, I think we end up with Etatike. Or is another solution I possibly could think of. Liverpool go and get a big left winger and use Diaz down the middle, and Liverpool probably just think this isn't the right window to go and get the big number 9, which is unfortunate. I think that's genuinely a possibility. I won't be surprised if that possibly maybe becomes the case. But then you look at left wingers, who are you taking really? For the price anyway. Rodrigo? You know, that's really... I mean, are we taking Nico Williams? No. Leao for the price? No. Semenyo for the price from Bournemouth? 70 million? No. You know, the left wing market's kind of dead, really, barring the elite ones. And then you've kind of got a few that possibly could become obtainable to reach. But we are 2 likes away from 30. Make sure you're smashing them likes, people. It's been a quality stream. We've done nearly an hour today. Yeah, let me know. Wolfert sign. You know, what's the worst that can happen? You know, that's going on. What's the worst that can happen? If you are to make one marquee signing between Wirtz and Isak, who are you going for? That's tough, you know. That's tough. I think that's a tough question. I really do. I think that's a tough question. We are 1 like away from 30, though. Isak. Some people are saying Wirtz. I would probably say Isak, mate. Mainly due to the fact is I am happy with the midfield. For now, I'm happy with Szoboszlai, Gravenberch, and McAllister. Now, if we brought in another player in the midfield, whoever it is, like a Ryan Cherky, like, for example, here's one. I'll flip the question back. Florian Wirtz and a downgrade on the striking department, so like maybe like an Etatike, for example. Etatike and Florian Wirtz, for an example. Or Isak and Cherky. That could be... You're probably going with Isak and Cherky, because I think the gap between Isak to Etatike is bigger than it is to Wirtz and Cherky, if that makes sense. If you get what I mean? I think the gap is bigger. So you probably go with Isak, 100%. Plus, oh my, we would actually batter teams. It will be like 13-14 all over again. We'll just outscore teams. You know, when we had like the Luis Suarez, you know, partnership with Daniel Sturridge, we'll just outgun teams, man, with Suarez and Isak. And then, by the way, we have a good midfield and a good defense and a good keeper. So, You know, Wirtz for me. Isak suits Newcastle. I think he will flop if we got him with the pressure and the price. Really? But then you could argue maybe would Wirtz flop with the pressure and the price? You know? I don't think Isak flops, man. No. That guy's made for the big stage. I think one day he's going to Barcelona. Isak. I think now Barcelona now trying to sort out their financial problems. I think one day Isak will go there because he's not going to go City because of Erling Haaland. He's not going Man U, lol. He's not going Tottenham. Like what? Is he going Chelsea? No. I think Chelsea gets Sesko. In my opinion. But yeah, we are one like away. So I'm sure there's one person in this stream that can like that the stream. It's been a very good stream. This I might do another. I am going to release a video later though regarding Frimpong. Our striker in our system has to work a lot in Newcastle. He stays up top. I get what you're thinking, but then here's one then. Do you remember when we played Newcastle at St. James? Excuse me. Do you remember when we played Newcastle at St. James's? And Isak scored that absolute rocket. He picked the ball up from deep. He picked it up from deep, ran, sent Virgil van Dijk, and just absolutely just rocketed it into the back of the net. So I do think Isak can do the hard yards, the dirty work in terms of tracking back. But I don't think we'll probably need him to, because I think our fullbacks will do the work for us, because they're going to be making the overlapping runs over Salah and over Diaz, where they will get the ball into the box for Isak. You look at Kirkes' crossing ability, very reminiscent to Andy Robertson back in 18-19. We saw Andy Robertson, that classic trademark left foot cross, just absolute curler. Go and watch Kirkes against Tottenham early in the season. The crosses he was putting into that game, very reminiscent, man, to prime Andy Robertson. And I think Isak will just farm his way on the end of it, man. He's an elite goal scorer. Left foot, right foot. He's actually very good on the ball. He's tall, so he can win a header. He can be physical if he needs to. I feel like he's the one striker really where I fear him up against Virgil van Dijk, because he's had Virgil van Dijk's number a couple of times. Alexander Isak, so. But yeah, 31 likes, man. I appreciate it, people. I appreciate it. We're 9 subs away. We've gained 10 subscribers in this stream. Wow. I appreciate the love, people, man. Thank you so much. I think a good ones to watch is Gordon to Liverpool. Yes, but when we lose the ball in transitions, we be in trouble. I get what you mean. I do. I get what you mean by in the transitions aspect. But Isak is just elite. He is elite. You don't say no to Isak. Do you know what I mean? It's like your nan giving you 20 quid. You don't say no. I know that's a poor analogy, all right? But I'm just trying to say, like, you just don't say no. It's like you don't say no to try and sign Florian Wirtz. Could we revise? Do you mean? I assume you mean revisit that deal. I think the Gordon ship possibly has sailed for now. I think Gordon will come to Liverpool one day. I actually do genuinely believe that. I think Liverpool would really revisit that deal possibly if Luis Diaz was to really leave this summer. Don't forget, he did sign that contract last year. Do you know what I mean? Now, I don't know if there's a release clause in there, but we'll have to see. Yep, I'm with you. Isak and Cherki will be better than Wirtz and any ordinary striker. Yeah, that's the kind of the points I'm seeing from. Isak and Cherki is better than Wirtz and Etitike. Like I said, the gap between Etitike and Isak is bigger in terms of like better striker than it is Cherki and Wirtz. You know, I'm not saying like they're on the level, but you know what I mean. Cherki's the one I want, and Delap. You want Liam Delap? See, I would take Liam Delap. But the thing is, I kind of want another striker as well. I want another striker. I don't just want Liam Delap. You know, because can you really rely on a Liam Delap who scored 12 goals, you know, which I think is a very good return for Ipswich, to be the main striker at Liverpool Football Club to try and win a Premier League and a Champions League? You know, that's the question you have to ask yourself. Now, if we was to bring in a big name striker that is, you know, elite, and Liam Delap, I'm not saying no, because then Liam Delap, you know what Arsenal should be doing? Arsenal should be signing Gyökeres and Delap. Gyökeres, you're buying for the here and now, aren't you? Gyökeres is in his prime. He's what, 26? You're buying Gyökeres now for the next 4 years. By that point, Liam Delap is going to be ready. Do you know what I mean? And I think he's a very good backup. That's what I would do, in my opinion. Look, the ultimate dream for me is Isak. But if not, it's Gyökeres, even though I don't think Gyökeres will come to Liverpool. I think Delap in the worst team in the league, and he carried them himself. I 100% get what you mean. I 100% do, right? I want Liam Delap at Liverpool myself as a backup. But can you trust Liam Delap to lead the Liverpool the line in game week 30 against Man City away? Now, in terms of getting us over the line to try and win a title, trying to get us over the line to win number 7 in the Champions League. These are questions you've got to ask yourself. Do you know what I mean? Liam Delap is very good, but he's still got a lot to learn, you know, and he'll get that with experience. But I think he's going to Manchester United. He's got a £30 million relegation clause. I think he's going to Manchester United. He'll be changing with Diaz, then bring in another winger. Now I kind of get the thinking. Now, it depends on what winger you would want. Like, what winger would you want at the club? Like, what winger? Because Cody Gakpo, I think, is good enough to play off the left for us, in my opinion. No? I think Cody is good enough. Do you know what I mean? Rodrigo. I mean, okay, yeah. Yeah, but Gakpo's good enough. Just hope he can stay fit. Yeah, I agree. Rodrigo. Like, I love Rodrigo, mate. He's my dream left winger. If you used to name me a left winger, you say to me, right, you can sign one player for Liverpool on that left. I'm saying Rodrigo, please, or Anthony Gordon as a realistic point of view. Because I think if Rodrigo wanted to leave Real Madrid, I think it is realistic, in my opinion. So, yeah. We'll have to obviously wait and see. We'll obviously, have to wait and see. But yeah, Frimpong is close to here. We go. We are going to go over that, and we're going to wrap up. So let's go through some tweets. So Honest Slaughter, by the way, has done his press conference. So Honest Slaughter, whether difference in motivation with title. The honest answer is yes. It's clear to everyone we are still competing for the Premier League. There would have been some days off, but we couldn't have gone somewhere else. As a club, we are always looking at interesting players that can improve the squad. Honest Slot has spoken on Frimpong. It's going to be a boring answer. The answer is the same. We don't talk about the players we want to bring in public until they've signed for us. He has basically confirmed Frimpong is going to be a Liverpool player. He's going to be a Liverpool player. Slot won't say whether Alexander-Arnold will be involved against Brighton. Plans to speak to him today. Interesting. What's this? Liverpool have noticed the same behaviour from Ibrahim Konate as they did from Trent Alexander-Arnold. They're worried about losing him for free to Real Madrid next summer. Marker, you know who they report about? Real Madrid. What a shock. At the AXA, where it feels like very last week of term school vibes, but honestly, we'll be talking. Oh God, I love that. And obviously, yeah, this is the tweet from FABRIZIO Romano. He has confirmed that the Here We Go is close with Frimpong. And yeah. And now you are saving the 150 million, and we end up with Cherky Delap would be cooking plus Rodrigo. So are you saying that? Are you basically saying Delap, Cherky, and Rodrigo would cost 100 million? Probably would, to be fair. Rodrigo probably costs you 70, 80. Delap 30, Cherky 25. Yeah. Big up to yourself, Jordan, mate. Thank you for tuning in. 32 likes. Big up to everybody that's all hit that like button. But yeah, we'll see what else Twitter is having to say. Exclusive slots on the fringe players. It would not be fair for any player to judge my opinion on them or not one of them two minds. My mind has been made up over the past 10, 11 months. So basically, he's saying all the fringe players are basically going. That's what he's basically saying. Slot on Chiesa. Now, I just don't understand. Slot on Chiesa, in terms of quality he deserves more playing time, but unfortunately for him, he's in competition with Mo Salah on the left. In competition with Cody Gakpo and Luis Diaz, three players who have all had a great season. But the only thing I have to question on his Slot is, where's he been against Arsenal? Where's he been against Leicester in recent weeks? Where's he been against Chelsea? Games that have been meaningless. You know? Yeah, it's going to be a done deal. Mo Salah's 8-1 to win the Ballon d'Or. So basically, we need PSG to not win the tournament, and then it could potentially be a 50-50 chance. But let's have a look at some Wirtz Liverpool news. Let's see just quickly if there's anything on Twitter. But yeah, Liverpool are ahead of the race to sign him, according to reports in Germany. When Joyce drops that Liverpool closing on a club record deal for Florian Wirtz. Oh, man, please. Liverpool are progressing their pursuit for Florian Wirtz, stepping towards securing the 22-year-old services, currently leading the race for the signature alongside Bayern Munich. If Florian Wirtz prefers the idea of English football, Liverpool are his choice. Well, obviously. And then as it stands, Liverpool are further ahead. Bayern Munich remain optimistic. Give or take 150 million, maybe 180, and I would rather that trio of Cherky, Delap, and Rodrigo, if you get me. Yeah, I get what you mean. Yo, Curtis, big up yourself, bro. Who's this Pratt? Fucking what's it? So I think it's just a case of Bayern can't afford the asking price. Liverpool were informed, and I know we can match the asking price. Let's hope Wirtz doesn't say it's Bayern or no one. I think Liverpool will have a real chance of landing him. I can see that. I really do. Evolution of summer transfer window as a Liverpool fan on X. May. It will be a big summer. It will be a big summer for Liverpool. We will go for Isaac, Rodrigo, and Wirtz. No, it won't. We will have the tightest owners in football, and we won't see any of them. Shut up. With July, we have spent nothing. Oh God! I mean, I probably am in agreement. To be fair, I'm intrigued to see if rumors were true about apparently Florian Wirtz visit the AXA training ground. Obviously, that's reported in Germany. The day after Liverpool played by Leverkusen in January. So basically, those links were basically when we played by Leverkusen earlier in the season. What's this? Which? Oh, what? So yeah, that is big up yourself, bro. But yeah, look, people, that is the news for today. Regarding Frimpong, here we go soon. It's going to be a done deal. I reckon it's going to be a done deal probably by tomorrow. It's going to be done by the weekend, and then we move on to getting Kirkes. We move on to maybe seeing what happens with what's his name, Florian Wirtz. And yeah, it's going to be really interesting regarding the centre back situation. But make sure you are smashing the like button on your way out, people. Subscribe to the channel. It's been a good hour and 20 minutes. Over 658 of you are tuned in, 32 likes, 19 watching now. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend. Up the Reds, you got the FA Cup final. I think 2-1 Man City. Because if we want Adam Wharton, if he wins the FA Cup, that's gonna probably add another 20 million. Yeah. Smash them likes, subscribe to the channel, enjoy the FA Cup, whatever you're doing over the weekend. Up the Reds, Frimpong is a red.